sin. And I do tricks to help you understand the gospel. No real magic is included in this presentation. Now I need an assistant from the crowd. Right there. Okay, so we know from James chapter 1, verse 14 and 15, that sin starts out as a bad choice, which leads to sin and therefore leads to death. Like I said, sin starts out as a little bad choice. And at times, you don't even know it's there. But it really is always there in your heart. I want you to take a look at that. And one bad choice can lead to 1, 2, or more sins. And now, let's say that sin you have in your hand represents stealing, such as taking money from your mom's purse when she isn't looking so you can buy something like candy. And when your mom asks you about the missing money, this second black ball represents the lie you choose to cover up for stealing the money. And the two sins, stealing and lying, work together and are locked up inside of your heart. So they don't let go. And you keep on committing more and more sins because nobody seems to notice. But you get this bad feeling as the Holy Spirit reminds you of your 1, 2, 3, or more sins that you have committed so far in your life. Thank you. You can sit down now. Okay. Now let's say these spongy balls represent sins. I just showed you how bad choices lead to sin, but Jesus can forgive these sins. Like, have you said something mean to somebody? Yeah. That's a sin. Parents? Yeah. Yep, that's a sin. Have you ever been greedy before? It's also a sin. And have you ever lied? Don't lie to me. Lying is a sin committed twice in the average 10-minute conversation by 60% of people. All of these sins, or even just one of them, would cause us to be separated from God forever. But Jesus can forgive these sins. He forgives them all as soon as you accept Him as Lord and makes them as if they are not even there. Once you do that, you have a job to do. Yes, I said a job. Okay. You cannot keep on sinning. You've got to make them your top priority. Now these represent your priorities. Let's say this green ball represents stuff you like to do, like watching TV or doing art or something. And it's represented by the green ball, and it should be important to you, but not as important as your friends and family, which is represented by this yellow ball here. And it should be more important than your favorite things, but your relationship with God should be more important than anything else, and it is represented by this red ball. And this is how your priorities should be. Red, yellow, and green, just like a stoplight. But it's tough to see inside your heart, and you think you have everything in mind. You think that you don't watch too much TV, and you think that your relationship with family is not more important than your relationship with God. But we don't know. Sometimes we don't know what our priorities are. We let Him slip to the bottom. Like, sometimes sports or parties or something like that can crowd out your prayer time, and some people do just anything to please other important people in their life. But hopefully, you act like Jesus is your highest priority. But most people fail to act according to Jesus. Some people let their favorite things or their favorite people get in the way of living for Jesus. And if we ignore the love of God, long enough, He may disappear completely right out of our lives. So we must first make sure that Jesus is in our life, and then we must be compelled by the love of God that He sent His Son Jesus to die for us. We must be compelled by that love to make serving Him the top priority all the time.